Good morning, my lovelies, and welcome to a very overcast but very warm and muggy Sunday morning. I hope you're all very well. So this morning we've come down to the field, and as you can see, the poppies are trying to make an appearance. I'm hoping it will do what it did last year so I can show you, but I've got a funny feeling I don't think it will, but never mind. So anyway, this week I've been mulling over a bit of an idea, and I've been running this past my sister. I decided I would come up with a weekly Saturday morning type video, looking at the aspects of witchcraft, paganism, spiritual paths, Wiccan on a budget. As we all know, if there's anything you like doing and you need to buy things for it, sometimes it can be quite expensive, and our paths are no different. So I thought, well, why don't I do a little weekly video and look at the ways in which we could do our craft on a budget. So some of the ideas I came up with was budget shops. Ooh, there'll be a skylark up there. Can you hear him? Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so some of the ideas I came up with, things like budget shops. I mean, here in the UK we have things like Poundland, Home Bargains, the Works, sometimes Wilco's does some bargain stuff. Then I came up with things like, you know, you could do car boot sales, fates, school fates. There's also things like seasonal sales, you know, say Samhain, when Samhain's over and they sell their stuff off cheaply, you can get it quite cheap and then put it away for the next year. I looked at things like acquiring herbs and things like that and making your own potions and stuff, and the ways of getting it. If you're lucky enough to have a garden, maybe you could grow your own herbs and learn how to dry them. Window boxes are just as good. Foraging, I looked at things, you know, like foraging when we're out on walks. And you don't necessarily have to buy, you know, grow your own and stuff. You can always go to a supermarket and buy them already dried. Looking into things like books, best place to get books, the best books to have. Crafts, now you know me, I love a good craft, so I thought, well, we could learn how to craft things together for Sabbath altars and things like that. Thinking of like making do with what you have in the house, using what you have in the house. Everybody's got a cupboard somewhere where they think, oh, that's a pretty jar, or that's a nice box, I'll put that aside, I might use that for something, and you never do. Now's the time, lovelies. So that's the sort of the idea of things on a, say, a Saturday morning, weekly Saturday morning slot. Then I thought, well, it needs a title. We need to come up with something. So I've been racking my brain for a week. I've come up with budget witchcraft. I thought, no, I don't like the sound of that. Shoestring Witchcraft, no, didn't like the sound of that. Thrifty Witching, but when I looked on YouTube I found quite a few channels had the same thing or similar sounding thing, and I didn't want to sort of step on anybody's toes. Baby Witching was another one, but no, can't use that. So I had a look on the internet and came up with a list of words that meant cheap, cheerful, budget. One of them was frugal witchcraft, and I quite like the sound of that. So I ran it past my sister and she said, oh, she says, that sounds a bit harsh, does that? That sounds like your proper penny pinching. I was like, oh, okay then. So she came up with a few words, and she came up with this one, and I absolutely love it. It's called, she says, why don't you use Winging It Witchcraft? She said, because let's put it this way, she says, when we're trying to do something and we don't have what we need and we have the next best thing, we'll go, oh, we'll wing it then. Winging It Witchcraft. So Winging It Witchcraft, the channel, is now dedicated to my sister Jo, who came up with the name. So thank you, Jo, for the amazing name. And that is what our little Saturday morning slot will be called, Winging It Witchcraft. It's quite a good name. It rolls off the tongue quite easily. So yes, I thought I would do a little introduction, run it past you, come up with a few things, few ideas, and sort of give you a name for it. If there is anything or any ideas that you have for the little slot, let me know. You know, if there's anything that you do that saves you pennies to save up for bigger things in life, you know, more altar goodies, then let me know, because we're always up for suggestions and we're always up for ideas. We can throw it about a bit. So yes, so from next Saturday we will have a little slot called Winging It Witchcraft, and it'll look at tips and ideas on how to follow your craft without breaking the bank and spending loads of money. Because believe me, if I could spend all my hard-earned pennies on witchcraft and goodies for my altar and wouldn't have to worry about paying bills and buying food, I flipping would. I'd have enough crystals in my house to sink a battleship and enough incense to start a flipping fire. Because let's face it, you know, we all like to do things, we all have hobbies, interests, paths and whatever, and life gets in the way of these things, and we think, oh, I've got bills to pay, I've got food to buy. So if we can try and save some money somewhere, you know, maybe then you could put that money that you've saved to one side to buy bigger items for yourself, or to go on holidays to places like Glastonbury, where you can spend more money on stuff. So yeah, that's the plan, that's the idea. So next week we will have a topic of discussion on how to save some money on your spiritual path. once again, our kid, thank you very, very much for the brilliant and amazing name for the little Saturday morning slot. And we are going to finish our walk and then we're going home for a cup of tea. So, thank you for coming on a walk with me and Miss Lou amongst the poppies and the tall grasses. Look after yourselves, lovelies. Take care of one another. And be kind to each other, because you don't know what that other person's going through. And as always, sending you much love and many, many blessings.